All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for more One Piece. Let's begin. Yo, peoples, Qushu 92 here. It is so good to be back with you guys again for yet another One Piece reaction. It's good to see Kohagen. It's good to see Hybrid. It's good to see Halster. It's good to see all of you here. We are off from break, and we're going to be going right back into a break after we're done with today's chapter. Okay, you'll make your cappuccino? Yeah, I said I was home and the boys were eating. That was a perfect time for you to go ahead and make your cappuccino. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Last we left out on in chapter 1156 was essentially the Rocks Pirates being fully formed. We get introduced to numerous people such as, Barbell, and we get introduced to Silver Axe himself. And before he, I guess, officially joins the Rocks Pirates, but we have Rocks saying, like, I'll show you the peak of the world. So now we get to see what happens in the next chapter, chapter 1157. I close my eyes waiting for the page to come up. Legendary Bar. Legendary Bar? Like a legendary drinking bar? Chapter 1157, Legendary Bar. And we have more of Yamato's cover story. Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 39. He fought against Kaido to protect his village, but perished without leaving a body behind. And... okay, so who's... He fought against Kaido to protect his village, but perished without leaving a body behind. Who is this? Because we have one of the bosses, we have one of the Yakuza bosses for Ringo. We have the boss for Ringo here with Kiku, and we have Page 1 and Ulti making a gigantic snowman in the background, apparently a gigantic snowman of Kaido, because it has the horns on, it has sticks on the head for the horns, and it has like a big old curve on it to make for his Fu Manchu mustache as well. But yeah, Yamato's continuing his pilgrimage. Now we get to a new location. Embezzle. 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 It's called Embezzle. Like embezzlement? There's a whole place called this. Embezzle International Charity Sanctuary. Yahoo! There, that's everything from the vault. They had a fortune in there. Good job, we've got the goods. And we have Wang Ji saying this. Time to pull out, folks. And we have all of the Rocks Pirates as they're ransacking the International Charity Sanctuary. We got Big Mom here, we got Ganjui, we got Barbell, we got Don Marlin. They're all just ransacking this whole place. Time to pull out, folks. No, wait. That money was all donated for the sake of hungry children.
Liar! Why is it collecting dust in your vault then?
And then we get... who's calling in? Who's saying this? Hold on, who's calling in? Hey, Wang Chi, hey! Who's this speaking? Hey, Wang Chi, hey! Lower the lift one more time, we're still down in the... Galik? So much whining. Hey, Shiki! Oh, right, I forgot about him. And so long, suckers! And Shiki throws a bomb into a hole that Kaido and Whitebeard are in. Shiki was supposed to, I guess Shiki was supposed to help him, but Shiki takes his opportunity to try and kill both Whitebeard and Kaido. So long, suckers. And he drops a bomb in where they're stuck. Mind you, there's another person in here too. It shows Kaido and Newgate, but there's someone else. And then the whole area blows up. Gee, more for the rest of us. You fools! Curses! They know about the grift we're running. Where are the soldiers? They're almost here. Make sure they don't escape. Yes, your holiness. So this whole charity thing, it's a front. Think of that one church from the first John Wick movie, and it's pretty much a place for one of Vigo's safe houses in the bottom of the church. It's literally one of those places. Close the temple gates!
Ah! Iron bars!
And this is Stussy saying this.
Are they trying to lock us in here? Out of the way, Buckin! I'll smash them open!
And then she senses something. And the whole island tilts. So during this time, Whitebeard already had the Gura Gura no Mi. He already had it. He literally tilts the entire island, and the whole island and sea just part and shifts around.
Is the ground sinking? No, it's an earthquake. He's doing this. Newgate!
And it shows the rest of the Rock's pirates falling because of what Whitebeard did. And it shows Barbell and Wang Ji screaming, "Our temple!" And then it shows, oh, the other person that was in there was Silver Axe. Okay, I had a feeling it was him, but I didn't want to assume. But Silver Axe was in there along with Newgate and Kaido. I'm jealous. Wish I had one of those. What, a fruit power? Take your time and choose wisely. It'll be with you for life. That's a good point. Hey, who tried to bury me alive down there? And it shows Shiki in the air. It was you, Shiki! Because Silver Axe notices him. Oh, why if it isn't my good friend Kiyo? Thank goodness you're alive. I was so worried. And it cuts to Rox, who's watching all this go down. What kind of stupid games are you playing over there? Get the lid out, people! And it shows Shiki and Kiyo fighting each other. You know, Silver Axe. Kiyo fighting each other. That treasure better be safe. That treasure better be safe. Of course, of course. And this is Ganjui saying this. And then it cuts to Captain John. Hey, Rox, look at the sea around us. It's the Navy. We're surrounded. Looks like we got trouble. Hey, no time for fighting amongst yourselves back there. We gotta hit the waves. It's the Navy. And then it cuts back to Newgate, who goes, it's too soon. Were they tipped off? Belay that! Don't hit the waves! Hit the enemy! Sink them all and take their loot! And then we get more narration. Within just 2 years of their founding, the Rock's pirates were responsible for 16 recorded raids, 76 sunken ships, 14 ports burned to the ground, 5 towns leveled, 1 kingdom brought to ruin, 3 special violations of Article 16 of world law, and 25 crimes that were completely covered up. And it shows Rox also fighting all of these people and using his explosive hockey with his swordplay, and he's just devastating everything around him. We still don't know what type of sword style this is. This could be a sword style, but, you know. Though the future king of the pirates, Gold D. Roger, also sailed the seas at this time, these few years of frenetic activity might as well be known as the era of Rox. And Rox is literally destroying cannons on ships just with his own swordplay and hockey alone. And then we cut to another location. Enishi, New World. And it cuts to, I guess, Harold, who's out. He cuts to Harold. And another ship, it looks like a Navy ship, who goes, what do you want, Harold? Get lost! Unaffiliated countries are a lawless land in our eyes. The people who live in them have no rights. But it's not proper. The world government doesn't make all the rules of the world. Let those people go. When Elbaf was suffering from famine, they brought us food and asked for nothing in return. They are our friends and saviors. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. The people who helped the Giants of Elbaf when they were starving are now being tried and persecuted by the world government because they helped them.
Help us, King Harold!
Now's the time to repay the debt we owe them. I will not back down from this. Listen, Harold. If you want to bring that up, Elbaf is still only a hopeful future member of the government. If you aid us, it might benefit you. But if you protect an unaffiliated nation, it will only decrease your chances of joining. And this government official takes out a gun and shoots the lady that says to help. Now clear the way, Harold! And he shoots the lady. None of these prisoners are people to us. And Harold doesn't waste any time jumping off of his ship, and he's about to bust heads. King Harold! King Harold of Elbaf shows his true stripes. After feigning allegiance to the government, he sinks an innocent warship. World Economic Journal. The news put out that Harold displayed his true colors and became a villain of the people. But what he really did was go after the government that was persecuting and taking the people who helped them prisoner. But of course, I wonder if was Morgan's running this journal at the time? Or was it someone else? But of course, they lie and say that it's all Harold's fault. Ida's Bar, Elbaf. I told you that's what the government does. Come on, Harold, let's share drinks at the castle. Nonsense. I'm not allowing a man of such infamy into my country. Join me, Harold! You and your whole country! Stop being so stubborn and just give up. I can't stand to see you... I can't stand to see you bowing and scraping to the government anymore. And it shows Harold, who apparently has gone bald. Yeah, he's gone bald. He's bald now. And he's just chilling with rocks in Ida's Bar. Mark my words, Elbaf will be a part of the world government one day. And you think shaving your head will make them see your contrition? You see your contrition? What kind of culture did you get that from? Yes, Garp laughed at me too. Garp? You know how much he hates the brass he works for? He should just be a pirate already. It's an organization. Some are miscreants, but as a whole, the Navy works hard to save lives on a daily basis. They've even begun to accept a number of recruits from Elbaf, starting with John Giant. Now, here's the thing, though. They accepted John Giant because John Giant was sold to them by Mother Caramel. Didn't think I'd bring her name up again. It ain't gotta... They're accepting them because they were sold. Literally sold into service. They've even begun to accept a number of recruits from Elbaf, starting with John Giant. If only I could send more of our overly powerful warriors, I know their strength would go a long way toward helping the downtrodden. He does not know that the Navy uses giants as muscle to enforce things. Not to protect people, but to enforce... The world government's not good, man. If only I could send more of our overly powerful warriors. I know their strength would go a long way toward helping the downtrodden. Sounds like the last thing I want to face out there. Come on, Ida, talk him out of this. And here's the thing. Rox is just casually talking to Ida.
Well, if Harold were my son, I think I'd say, choose better friends.
Hey, that's not funny. And it shows Harudin and Loki. Harudin and Loki chilling in the bar. While we also have, what is her name? She runs Ida's Bar now. But I forget her name. She's trying to offer a drink to Loki, but it doesn't look like he's accepting. Then we cut to Navy HQ. All a giant has to do is roll over in his sleep and he'll crush the human sleeping next to him. If they get angry and lose control, it could be life-threatening. How are we supposed to coexist with something like that? That's what the higher-up said. So, speak for yourself. And then we cut to Garp. It cuts to Garp, and he's just chilling eating rice crackers along Sengoku. Isn't that a good thing for the Navy to have, though? Navy Vice Admiral Garp, Luffy's grandfather. Harold's an honest, well-meaning man. He wants to change Elbaf's history. Navy Vice Admiral Sengoku, future Fleet Admiral.
Rumors says that Rox has been trying to win him over. If he joins their crew, even the Navy might not be able to stop them.
Navy Vice Admiral Otsuru, future great advisor. I know, but still. Sheesh, I'm trapped between a rock and a hard place. Navy Admiral Kong, future Commander-in-Chief. Back then, during the time of Rocks and Herald, Kong was an admiral. Who was the other admiral, though? Who are the other admirals? Then we continue with Kong. The problem is, historically speaking, they've been a vicious people. Then Garp. Yeah, and I want them on our side, Kong. Just bring Elbaf into the world government. You think that's up to me? I wish. Fulaled, 42 years ago. And then we cut to all the pirates who are looking at the paper. Hey, did you see this? It's a scandal. The papers are saying that Shakuyaku's not the captain of the Kuja pirates anymore. What? Does that mean our chances of running across her at sea are basically zero now? This is devastating. I only went out to sea to be a pirate because I dreamed of being boarded by Shakuyaku one day. All the dudes are getting upset that Shakuyaku's no longer a pirate. We've been wasting the best years of our lives. Come back to us, Shaki! But then we have Gloriosa and Big Mom talking to each other.
What does Shaki think she's doing? Didn't she quit because she wanted to chase after a man, just like you did, Gloriosa? Even the island of women can't defeat love, it seems. I didn't expect you to understand the agony of true love with the way you crank out babies like popcorn.
Oh! 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 Gloriosa! With the venom! Ooh! Gloriosa calling out Big Mom for being loose! Loose!
I didn't expect you to understand the agony of true love with the way you crank out babies like popcorn. I find it hard to believe that she's got lovesickness, though. If it's with Roger, I'll never forgive her.
Then we get back to Stussy.
Everyone always talks about Shocky this, Shocky that. But you've never had eyes for anyone but me, right, Newgate?
I've never had eyes for you at all. This just puts into perspective that Weevil really isn't Whitebeard's son, because Whitebeard was not feeling Stussy back then! Even back then! I've never had eyes for you at all.
What? But it's me, Miss Buckin. I could have any man in the world.
So what's your problem?
My problem is I want you!
Bruh, Gloriosa wanted Roger. Roger wanted Shocky. Shocky wanted Rayleigh. Stussy wanted Whitebeard. Good Lord! Look out, people! We've got big news! What's up? The Kuja ship is by the shore! Huh? Huh? What? It was one of the most shocking days in the history of Pirate Island. Of all people, the untouchable idol herself, object of the world's desire, set foot in the lair of wild, untamed beasts. Shocky just rolled up. She just rolled up on the Rocks Pirates' turf. A goddess has stepped onto our soil. I could die happy right now.
Thank you, Tritoma. I'll take it from here. Okay. Take care, Captain. So this is Pirate Island.
I can't... why is she here? There's no reason for someone like her to take one more step onto this filthy island. Everyone is awestruck by the fact that Shocky's there. I can't see through her brilliance and my tears. Is she really here or am I dreaming? So gorge! What a beaut. Party. Would you perhaps be looking to join the Rocks Pirates like Lady Gloriosa did?
No, I want to live here for a little while.
What?
I'm a pirate too, you know. I can quit the business, but the Navy's still after me. So I want to hide out here for the moment. Will you protect me?
And then every dude there is all like, of course we will! It smells here. We'll clean it up!
I'd like to open my own business.
We'll get it built right now! And we'll plant flowers! And then we get Rocks rolling up going, yo, 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 what's all the ruckus? Bunch of numbskulls loitering about and causing a scene. It's the Rocks Pirates! Oh no! Please, sirs, don't be angry. This was all our idea. Just don't kick her off the island. This was the famed establishment of the pirate island full of lead, Shaki's Rip-Off Bar. Noted for its month-long waiting list, Shaki's first bar was during Rox's time. And it shows Shaki chilling. She's got like an apron on that says Shaki on the front, and she's changed completely.
Ah, I'm so glad you came. Welcome. You're my very first customer. Won't you stop in and have a drink?
And every single person, even Whitebeard, who had no eyes for anyone, is among every single member of the Rocks Pirates present. That includes Don Marlin, Rocks himself, Captain John, I want to say Wang Ji, even Kyo is there. They all got hearts on their eyes. Their hearts are bursting out of their chests. Shaki is so beautiful, she made Whitebeard immediately go back on his word of, I don't have eyes for anyone. As soon as he sees Shaki, I have eyes for someone. He literally looking like that.
Won't you stop in and have a drink?
This lone peony blooming and the blasted this lone peony blooming amid the blasted wasteland brought beauty and comfort to the island. Every single member, including Rocks himself, is stricken by Shaki being there. In time, she would become an irreplaceable treasure to the pirates who made this island their home. And what is treasure if not something that can be stolen? And then it cuts to Shaki having a hard time opening something, but it cuts to Shiki, Captain John, Don Marlin, as she says,
Aw, I can't get it open.
And then Rocks is all like, we'll help. Oh, this bar smells nice. Shaki folded all of the dudes from the Rocks Pirates. Her mere beauty folded them. But the next thing we get is the Hall of Power. Hall of Power, Sacred Marijois. Give Harold this ultimatum, then. If you warriors of Elbaf meet the following requirement, you will be allowed to join the world government. Kill Rocks. And this is Saint Marcus Mars saying this. In order for Elbaf to be a part of the world government, Harold has to kill Rocks. Now, mind you, they're talking to someone, I think on the Denden Mushi, because it's just the Gorosei who are in this room. But that's the ultimatum to be given to Harold. If you want to join us, kill Rocks. Now, given the fact that Elbaf is still not affiliated with the world government, I imagine this getting to Harold is not going to turn out well. Because the Rocks Pirates immediately disband after the events of the God Valley incident. Oh, and we're going on break from this too. All right, so let me get back to what you guys have said. Let me get back to what you guys have said. That's been, all these people. Hi, hello, how are you? But let's get back to what you guys have said the whole time. Let's see, I'm home and the boys are eating. Oh, wait, I said that. Why am I reading my own message? Break chapter, making us suffer. Hey, I'd rather we take a break and Oda rest up because he's been giving us a ton of chapters lately. Let's see. I got a feeling I'm going to like Shiki. Now, Ulti and Pepe making a Kaido snowman is diabolical. They do all be trying to kill each other. Whitebeard really don't like that. Haven't seen that since Marineford. That was Kaido that said that he wish he had one of those. I know that was Kaido. That was Kaido who says, "Man, that's that power. I wish I had one of those." And Whitebeard was the one who said it. I didn't say it was Kaido and Whitebeard who was saying that, but it was Kaido who said, I wish I had one of those. So obviously, this is way before the God Valley incident, obviously. To be fair, this group's getting along quite well. Their jokes just a little bit over the top, but they know they're going to survive. Okay, I'm calling it. John was Rox's first mate, and Shiki was his second mate. These two by his side all the time. Yeah, Captain John seems to be right around Rox when something important is about to go down. So I feel like Captain John is right there. Mind you, even though their dynamic is just of mutual benefit, but I have to agree with you, Subject. I feel like Captain John may be up there in terms of hierarchy when it comes to the Rocks Pirates. These two by side all the time, and the fact that they are the wealthiest after Rocks died. Shiki got the fleet, John got the treasure. Interesting. Yo, Ozzy! One of my most faithful moderators and members. It's good to see you. And now the world government knows, like, Homie the Clown, Harold, don't play that. Oh, no, they know now. I don't think Morgans was born yet, at least I think. Yeah, I was thinking, like, there was no way that Morgans was running the World Economic Journal during this time, so I wonder who it was. I think Morgans was an upcoming writer who wrote for God Valley. Yeah, I believe so as well. But we'll go through it. Let's see. Captain accepted them. My butt. Sounds like the government we know. We're not going to get into that conversation. I mean, Harold is kind of right. Not all Navy members are trash. Exactly. Garp, while he works within the Navy, he is working to make it, he's not a believer in absolute justice. There are people who are actually decent within the Navy. It's just that they're overshadowed by the world government wanting to make sure that the Navy purges all pirates and enforces their will more so than keeping people safe. The keeping people safe part only really applies to them, looking good in the eyes of the public. We jump 2 years ahead. Will we see Kong in action in this flashback? While she was Empress for 2 years, poor Tritoma. Oh, look, it's little Katakuri, Oven, and Daifuku. Oh, snap! I knew those kids looked familiar! I knew they looked familiar! I was thinking, wait, this kid looks familiar to me. Yeah! Daifuku, Oven, and Katakuri. They're chilling. They're chilling with Big Mom while they're here. And Katakuri is short enough where he's just standing on his mom's arm. And it has Oven, who's just standing there going like, And then Daifuku is just chilling, also looking at the paper next to Gloriosa. Wow. I was like, who are these little kids who are right here? But then I thought, wait, since Big Mom was cranking out babies, oh snap, you guys pointed out, that's actually Katakuri in them. Let's see, went to the sea for Shaki, truly, Let's see, Gloriosa gloriously burned Big Mom. See Katakuri, Daifuku, and Oven. At least we know Triotoma was Empress for like 29 years. Let's see, Cutakuri. Yay, Julian, good to see you. Also, 308 Saw, good to see you as well. Welcome if this is your first time here. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Even Zebek was smitten by Shaki. Yeah, I know what you mean. Whitebeard is down. I repeat, Pops is down. My God, Rayleigh, you hit the jackpot of all jackpots. Even Shiki hearted eyes. Yep, Whitebeard's gone. Crazy that God Valley was sort of caused by Shaki. Was it, though? Let's see. Oh, no. She's the irreplaceable treasure. Don't tell me God Valley was started to get Shaki. So here's that. That would be crazy if Shaki was the... No, God Valley. No, wait a minute. Are we all completely forgetting the backstory of Kuma? God Valley was literally the whole thing of them hunting people. It was them hunting people on the island, cleansing the entire nation of God Valley. And the prize were like devil fruits. We don't know what the top prize was, though. That's the thing. We don't know what the top prize was. Seems like Shaki is a treasure of Hachinosu. If Shaki was a stolen jewel treasure that was taken in God Valley incident, so it looks like Rox comes to save her. Here's the thing, though. In order to put these theories to rest, we need to see what starts the God Valley incident. Because we know that Ginny tells everyone outside of God Valley that, hey, there's a whole bunch of treasure here that was stolen from Hachinosu here. That prompts the Rox pirates to go to that location. But to be quite honest, we do not know the exact moment where everything that caused it went down. Like where they got all the treasure from, because they came to Hachinosu. That's what we know. They came to Hachinosu. And they took a whole bunch of stuff from the Rox pirates, including the paw fruit and the Ryu and the fish fruit. So if it was Shaki that was taken, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Honestly, I have a feeling a betrayal might happen in God Valley with Rox pirates. They are not really the Straw Hat crew, like, care for each other. I think they leave Rox alone on the island. Don't mind the breaks. Oda is taking his time, so all the pieces are coming together. Exactly. It's obvious how much fun Oda is having exploring Rox's era. I love the fact that we are getting so much about Rox's era. I love that. Do we know the Rox pirates had those devil fruits, though? How do we know the government didn't already have those fruits? That's a good question. We know that they had the fruits, but did they necessarily say that those fruits were taken from Hachinosu? But at the same time, how was it that Big Mom immediately made a beeline for Ivankov and Kuma to get those devil fruits? Because she was there to get those devil fruits herself. She literally zoned in on the both of them while everyone else was fighting. So I feel they had the devil fruits, but they hadn't eaten them yet. But that's just my theory. Let's see, I feel Whitebeard is the snitch that got Rock unalived. Whitebeard? I don't think... Whitebeard ain't no snitch. Even if he was on Rox's crew. Whitebeard does not strike me as a person that would turn in another person. We literally, because it's funny how Whitebeard was the one who says who tipped them off. That's the thing, though. Whitebeard has always been insightful. Think about this. If we go back to the literal Marineford War, Squard tried to accuse Whitebeard of drawing in all those pirates so they can be killed by the Navy, but that was a lie from Akainu, and Whitebeard was all like, you big, dumb, stupid son of mine. Why would you even think that, even after getting pierced through the chest by Squard? Whitebeard does not strike me as the snitch type, because being a snitch means that you sneaky by nature. You willing to be sneaky. You're willing to be sneaky. Whitebeard ain't sneaky. He too big to be sneaky. So, no, ain't no way. Rox is too much for Whitebeard. I feel like you're leaning in this direction that Whitebeard is a snitch. And that would literally ruin everything that we know of Whitebeard. Oh, he's a loving father, but he's a snitch, though. Nah, it don't fit. It don't fit. Silver Axe might have been the traitor because he was suspicious joining the Rox pirates. Silver Axe is maybe a Marine like Diaz Drake. See, that's my thing. We hear that he's a rival to Shiki, but that's all we know. That's all we know. But also we know he's a hitman. But it could be a hitman cover. The hitman thing might be a cover. Because he just rolled up out of nowhere. Just rolled up out of nowhere. That's it. Despite the rivalry between him and Shiki, we don't know anything about him. I lean more in the direction of Kyo, of Silver Axe being the traitor, than Whitebeard. Whitebeard's too good of a dad to be a snitch. He's too good of a dad. He's one of the best dads in all of One Piece alongside Yasuye, Pound from Whole Cake Island, and Kuma. Ain't no way. There is literally no way. So, let's go ahead and go over the whole synopsis of it. Another thing to ponder, Kaido was on death's door, and it wouldn't surprise me if Zebek did it to him, and once Lin gave Kaido the fish fruit, he bounced, and Newgate is not a snitch. Ain't no way. There's no way. That just seems utterly ridiculous. I will not acknowledge it any further. Whitebeard is snitch. That's heresy. If Whitebeard is also a Buccaneer race because he was a family guy, luckily we a family guy. Glad that there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. He's our family guy. Nah, he's not a Buccaneer. Ain't no way, because if you being a family man means that you're part of the Buccaneer race, then that's gotta go towards Yasuye, which it doesn't, and Pound, which it definitely doesn't. So, ain't no way. So, let's get into the long summary of this chapter. Then we'll say a little bit more, and then I'll move on to Sakamoto Days. I still got some more stuff to go. Long summary! One of the places the Rocks pirates hit was the International Philanthropy Federation. Philanthropy. I never knew how to say that right. International Philanthropy Federation. As they were escaping with the loot, the high priest begged them not to take their treasure, claiming it was donated for the sake of hungry children. Lin, however, retorts that if that was true, the money would have been handed over by this point. Therefore, the entire place is a scam to hoard treasure. Ochoku was contacted by some of the others down below, and he tells Shiki to take care of it. Instead, Shiki throws a bomb down, hoping it will kill some of them, so the survivors can have a bigger cut. The high priest manages to seal the gates and trap the pirates, but just as Lin was preparing to break the gates down, Newgate uses his devil fruit powers to upheave the entire place. Once free, Kaido admits he's jealous of Newgate's powers, so Newgate advises that Kaido take his time and figure out the devil fruit he wants most if he's serious. Kyo demands to know who it was that tried to leave them for dead, and after Shiki lands next to him, he figures it was him, prompting a fight between the two. Rock scolds them for their foolishness just as he sees the Marines have arrived, with Newgate wondering if someone tipped them off. They were here since they came so soon. So this is already a note that there's a traitor among the Rock's pirates, which means that whoever's speaking to the Gorosei is the one who tipped off the Marines of them being there. Whitebeard is as much of a Buccaneer as Crocodile is Luffy's mother. That is one of the dumbest theories I have ever said. Sorry, I got loud. Instead of ordering his crew to flee, Rock's orders they hit back against the Marines and take everything they have. The narration reveals that in the 2 years since the crew's founding, the Rock's pirates had committed 16 raids, sunk 76 ships, burnt 14 ports to the ground, leveled 5 towns, and brought 1 kingdom to ruin, violated an article of world law 3 times, and had 25 crimes conveniently covered up. Simply put, even with the future pirate king Roger out at sea, this time period was often considered the era of Rocks. So, let's just put this into perspective. In 2 years' time... Sorry, corner of the eye, very itchy. Okay. Whew. So, within 2 years of them forming as a crew, they committed 16 raids, sunk 76 ships, burnt 14 ports to the ground, leveled 5 entire towns, brought an entire kingdom to ruin, violated an article of world law 3 times. Do we know the world law? Hold on. Do we know the world law? Do we know the laws of the world government? No, think about that for a second. We know that researching the Void Century is against the law. But do we know the law? Hold on, has that ever been brought up? Like the actual laws of One Piece. Have we never seen that? Bruh, wait a minute, hold on! Wait a minute! Something new that we never really thought of has been brought up. World law. An article of world law. How do we not know it? We know enough about the world government, but how do we not know the actual laws of the world government after 25 years? Well, it's over 25 years, but... No, it was 25. It's 25. How do we not know the laws of the world of One Piece? You know, we know unwritten laws. Don't just kill random people. That's against the law. Or stealing. That's against the law. Or trafficking. That's against the law. It's still used, but still. How do we not know the actual laws of the world government that they set in place? To be fair, I thought they just made stuff up as they went along. That's what I thought too. I never really put too much thought into it, but now I'm thinking of it. They violated an article of world law 3 times. What was this article for it to only be done 3 times? And they've committed 25 crimes that were just completely covered up. This has got me curious now. All right, besides reading the poneglyph or assaulting a world noble, no. See, that's the thing though. We know it's considered taboo. And might very well be one of the things that's against the law. You never raise a hand to a celestial dragon, and never do research into the Void Century, and never look into poneglyphs. And if you find anyone who can read them, then report them to the world government. Stuff like that. You can make it up if you want, but how, after all of these years, do we not have an understanding of the laws of the government of this entire story? Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here, but that kind of caught my eye. But yeah, they violated an article of world law 3 times and had 25 crimes conveniently covered up. Simply put, even with the future Pirate King Roger out at sea, this time period was often considered the era of rocks. Meanwhile, Harold's attempt to repay his debt to the country of Enishi for helping Elbaf during their time of famine encountered trouble when the people were taken prisoner by the world government, as by their admission, the country was unaffiliated, and therefore they have no rights. You know, the same thing that Ryokugyu is so proud to promote when he was facing off against the Akazaya 9 during Wano, said the same thing. Wano is a country that's not affiliated with the world government, therefore you have no rights. So if I can kill thousands as long as I can get to Straw Hat Luffy. Same mentality here. It's so twisted. It's so messed up. I'm going to look into the world government a little while later on. Harold refused to accept this and tried to help, but one of the agents tells him if he helps them, it will severely harm his chances of getting Elbaf allied with the government before callously shooting one of the prisoners. Harold becomes enraged and attacks the ship, and the newspaper paints Harold as a villain, just like I said, who attacked an innocent ship under the pretense of forging an alliance with the world government. At Ida's bar, Harold and Rox meet for a drink, with Rox saying he expected the government to lie and make him look bad, and Harold and the rest of Elbaf should just join him in taking them down, as Rox can't stand seeing his friend bound to them anymore. So real back here, we see that Rox values Harold as a friend, like, incredibly, to the point where he was willing to beat up and dust Kaido if he ever insulted Harold again. He really does value Harold as a friend. Even though Harold wants nothing to do with his pirating antics, he still looks at Harold like, you're my buddy. You're my buddy. The most notorious pirate during this time, and he looks at Harold, who wants nothing to do with him and his antics, and he's all like, he's my friend. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's literally like that. And that's something that's endearing about Rox. There are still so many questions behind the God Valley incident, so many questions like, why is Roger protecting the Celestial Dragons? Did Harold appear in God Valley? There's a lot of stuff. And I wouldn't say that it was more so Roger protecting the Celestial Dragons. It's just that maybe Rox was just that big of a threat that he just joined forces with Garp. But I'm just making assumptions here, because I honestly feel that with this flashback, we may see the events of the God Valley incident fully play out. I'm gonna be honest here. I still gotta read. Stop distracting me, you wonderful people. Stop distracting me. I love y'all though, but let me keep reading. Harold once again refuses, swearing he will get Elbaf aligned with the world government legitimately one day. But Rox asks if by shaving his head, Harold can get them to cooperate. Rox's words reminds Harold that Garp laughed at him too, and upon hearing his name, Rox muses that Garp would have made an excellent pirate because he hates the top brass. Harold admits the world government has some bad seeds because it is so huge, but he considers the Marines a fine army, and if he can get more members recruited like John Giant, he believes they can truly make a difference in the world. But Rox simply says giants in the Marines is a terrifying thought. Rox tries to get Ida to talk some sense into Harold, but she simply says that if Harold were her son, she'd tell him to pick better friends, to his chagrin. We still don't know how Rox and Roger and Rox became enemies, but if Shaki is in Hachinosu, maybe Roger's travels there? We don't know. I just thought this was going to be a sick and disgusting thing to say, but winning the most beautiful woman in the world as a personal helper would probably considered a grand prize in a Dude, you're actually very right. Because we know how sick and disgusting it is because we know that the celestial dragons will see an average woman on the street. If she's beautiful, they literally can just take her from where she is right there on the spot. You literally can be kidnapped by a celestial dragon as a woman at any point. Literally in Sabaody, when Charlos saw this woman with her man, he said, "I like you. You're going to be my next wife." And then one of his attendants goes like, "Kindly come with us, ma'am." As if to say like, okay, he says that he wants you. You now belong to him. Regardless, and her either boyfriend or husband, either the man she was with was tried to protest. He immediately got shot. So getting Shaki, of all people, seems to be, given the fact that she's known the world over as the most beautiful woman in the world. This is before Boa Hancock's time. So it wouldn't surprise me that she is the most sought after individual in the world. Before Robin, she's the most sought after individual. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shaki is kidnapped. And she is, in fact, the grand prize of the God Valley rabbit hunting competition, along with the paw fruit and the fish fruit as well. I would not be surprised at all, given the fact how Rox and everyone else was absolutely smitten with her, and all of the pirates were smitten with Shaki the moment she got there, save for the women. I wouldn't be surprised if finding out like, oh, they took some devil fruits. What? How could they take our devil fruits? Hey, they took some treasure. What? They took our treasure. How could they take this? They also kidnapped Shaki. We're going to war! I imagine that's what that whole interaction would be like. But let me get back to reading. At Marines HQ, the then Admiral Kong explains to Garp, Sengoku, and Suru why the world government refuses to coexist with giants, according to them. But Garp considers it ridiculous and says the giants' incredible strength is exactly what the Marines needs. Sengoku calls Harold an honest man who's trying to atone for his history's past, while Suru brings up rumors that Rox is scouting him. Kong, however, says there is too much bad blood from the past that's keeping things from changing, to Garp's annoyance. 42 years before the present, news began spreading that Shakuyaku had left the Kuja pirates, which devastates several people who were hoping to see her at least once at sea. Some of these people on Hachinosu literally became pirates because they hoped to see her one day. Finding out that she left the pirates is all like, I wasted all of my time being a pirate because the person I was looking for is now gone. Gloriosa, who had joined the Rox pirates by that point, wonders why Shakuyaku would do something. would do something. I feel like it would do such a thing. I feel that should be better. And Linlin asks if it's because she fell for a man and chose to chase him, musing that love might be the end of the Kuja one day. Gloriosa, however, retorts that someone like Linlin, who has given birth to several children by this point, would never understand the anguish of love. But Gloriosa doesn't think she's the type to get love sickness. One day, Shakuyaku arrives on Hachinosu herself, revealing to the love-struck pirates that she has chosen to hide here for a while, and if they can protect her during that time, which they all happily agree to. When the Rock's pirates return to Hachinosu, they see that Shakuyaku, now being called Shaki, has opened up her legendary rip-off bar. All of the Rock's pirates were instantly swayed by her and agreed to let her stay, and in time, Shaki became known as Hachinosu's treasure, one worthy of being stolen by another. As for Harold, the 5 elders decide to allow Elbaf to join the world government on one condition. They kill rocks themselves. So, we got quite a few notes. Oh, we still have to get and see Loki marrying Lola in this flashback. We almost forgot this was a Loki flashback. It becomes a Legends flashback because of Rocks, Kuja, and Roger, and Garp. See, here's the thing, though. We never got to see Loki marrying Lola. We got to see the whole proposal thing, but it never worked out because Lola was not interested in Loki, though Loki was interested in her. So that's a section of Loki's life I'm kind of interested in seeing. A person who said that he had given up on love wanted to get married. So that's interesting. Because we've all seen Loki being brought up and he's just given up on the fact of having love returned to him. Yet the thought of him marrying someone, that's a change. Interesting. Oh yeah, also Shanks capturing Loki in the seas. All right, so let's get down to the notes. Flip do! What it do? It's good to see you. Reading through the chapter notes, saying my final notes, and then we'll move on to Sakamoto Days. Then I'm going to take a break, get myself some food, eat that, and then I'll do my reaction to One Piece. Don't worry, it will not take me long to get that episode out to you guys. I'm on fire today, and I am ready to give you guys that good content. Chapter notes. The Rock's pirates loot the International Philanthropy Federation and destroy the Marines sent to stop them, adding to their growing infamy since the crew's formation 2 years ago. Harold attacks a world government battleship, abducting the residents of Enishi, whom he owes a debt to, leading to further complications in his attempts to join Elbaf in the world government. Rocks continuously tries to convince Harold to join his crew, but Harold keeps refusing. Garp, Sengoku, and Suru try to convince Kong to recruit more giants into the Marines, but the world government refuses due to Elbaf's past reputation. So the giant squad that we got, well, I feel is pretty much the exception to that rule. Too many giants in the Marines could lead to the giants maybe revolting. We don't need them doing any of that. So let's just keep it finite to a small group. Shakuyaku quits as captain of the Kuja Pirates, shocking the entire world. Shakuyaku arrives on Hachinosu and sets up a bar, and the Rock's pirates allow her to stay and regard her as Hachinosu's treasure. The 5 elders declare Elbaf would be allowed to join the world government on the one condition that they kill Rox D. Zebek. It's implied that he asks for Lola's hand in marriage when he's the top of Elbaf's hierarchy, so Harold is likely dead by this point. But here's my thing, though. Even though he's the top of Elbaf's hierarchy, did people just I wonder if Loki's silhouette is his Domi Reversi form? I don't think so, because that would imply that Imu had an encounter with Loki that caused him to be Domi Reversied. I just feel that silhouette was because Oda didn't feel like solidifying on the final look of Loki during that time. Because if you remember the silhouette of Loki, he looks like a very tall but rotund individual whose stature did not match what he looks like right now. So the same thing can be said for how the admirals looked back then, looking clean. Well, Thank you. I had to put on my white shoes and my white J's as well. It's like thinking back when the admirals were being described by Robin. They all had hats on and stuff, but they did not look exactly how they do right now. You know, the way Akainu looks and Aokiji looks, Kuzan looked. Borsalino looked more like his self when he was a vice admiral. He also had eyes there. Yeah, so what I'm saying is the silhouettes that we got in the past of characters we have now don't necessarily mean that they are a perfect representation of what these characters look like. Remember when Gart was describing the 4 emperors? We already know about Whitebeard and Shanks, but we didn't know what Kaido or Big Mom looked like. And Kaido's look definitely did not match the look that we saw him have earlier on. So these earlier depictions don't necessarily mean that that is any way linked to them in terms of what their actual appearance is like. Or Imu's Domi Reversi used on that individual. Because silhouettes get used a lot, but that doesn't mean that the person looks exactly like that silhouette. The issue is a lot of what we knew is a complete contrary to what we know now, including how he was, so that's why I think it would be Domi Reversi. I'm not sure Loki was still called a prince, so Harold was probably still alive when Loki tried to propose to Lola. See, here's my thing though. We don't know at what age Loki was proposed to. So it could be during the time when Big Mom was still, you know, slim and fit. Could be around the time when Harold was still alive. Loki was still very young, probably in his teenage years. Lola was probably in that age group as well. So this could have happened before Harold was actually killed. But that's the thing. We don't know. We don't know. I understand chowing down on some Jersey Mike's. One day I'll try Jersey Mike's. Is it good? Also, I like to think Loki is trying to give narration, but Gavin butted in and was like, okay, let's talk about Shaki in her younger years. It's totally important to the plot, I promise. It's totally important to the plot, I promise. But yeah, definitely over 20 years from now, because Lola is born in 16 years. She's only 26 in the story. Yeah. Yeah, this Loki flashback is packed. Yeah, that's the thing, though. This is supposed to be a flashback on us learning about the day when Harold was killed and the true events that went down, and even learning about the legendary devil fruit that Loki now possesses that we still don't know about. And we went so far in the past that we saw Harold when he was a teen and king of Elbaf, him meeting Ida, him wanting to become an ally to other nations, him wanting to be affiliated with the world government so he can become friends with more people, and because he sees how useful it is. We saw the rise of the Rocks pirates, the introduction of Rocks and his full appearance, finding out he's the father of Blackbeard, seeing all these other hidden members of the Rocks crew and finding out who they are, the potential father of Caribou and his brother. We see Silver Axe, the rival of Shiki. We see Shakuyaku as a person so beautiful that Gloriosa was just... She is literally the most beautiful woman in the entire world before Boa Hancock. And even to this day, Shaki is still a bad woman. So all of this packed into so much from Loki saying, do you really wish for me to relive that day over again? That's literally the last thing we heard from Loki before we went on this tangent of flashbacks. Do you really want me to relive that moment again? And now we go not just into the flashback of Loki and his birth, but also during the era of Rocks. Can you imagine what this entire arc would have been like if we just focused on Loki's point of view? We never would have known about the Rocks pirates and everyone who was with them. So I have to say, out of all the flashbacks that we got, this one is really peak. And I want to say it's peak enough where it's like witnessing Odin's flashback. Odin's flashback during the time when he was growing up in Wano, how much of a rabble-rouser, yes, I use the word rabble-rouser, how much of a rabble-rouser he was. Him meeting the Whitebeard pirates, him wanting to leave, him meeting Toki, Toki confirming that she comes from the era of the Ancient Kingdom. She comes from 800 years ago. Let's not overlook the fact that Toki came from 800 years from the past. She was alive during that period of time when the 20 Kingdoms was a thing. So that's Odin. Then we see him going with the Roger Pirates, seeing how the Roger Pirates did things, learning about Conqueror's Haki, being able to emit from someone's blade so it doesn't touch each other. All of these things that transpired in Odin's flashback, and we saw Prime Roger. So many things about Roger. So what I have to say is that we are getting another peak flashback that is doing more than just focusing on what the characters want the flashback to be about. Because we're supposed to be learning about what happened to Harold being killed. Why? Why did all that go down? And now we've dived 100 years in the past, went far back as Harold's younger years. And now we're learning about the Rock's pirates. So much about the Rock's pirate crew. And I'm just saying, this is good. The other thing, and I mentioned this to Roger earlier today, we find out in this chapter that Whitebeard already had the Quake fruit, so it's clear that the fruits Rox was looking for, not specifically ones Blackbeard got. It's very possible that the fruit at Elbaf that Loki likely has is the third devil fruit Blackbeard needs, and it's the one Rox is looking for. So here's the thing. I mentioned that Whitebeard already had his devil fruit during this time, but it's clear. It was already clear to me that the Quake fruit easily was not going to be one of the fruits. I came to this conclusion. I didn't discuss it with all of you. I came to this conclusion that the Quake fruit was not one of the devil fruits that Rox was looking for. The Yami no Mi was possible. It was possible that it was that one. But we also know that the fruit that exists in Elbaf, which is probably the legendary fruit that Loki possesses, is also another one that he was trying to get his hands on. Now, mind you, the one from Elbaf we pretty much surmise, but it's the other one that we don't distinctly know of. It could be the Yami no Mi, it could be another devil fruit entirely, but there is so much we are learning from these flashbacks that we're getting right now, that the thing is, we keep moving further and further up the timeline. Further and further up the timeline. We are getting closer to the moment where the God Valley incident happens. That's how close we are. Because how long ago... Let me go back. Let me see here. Let's see. Where's the time frame? 2 years of their founding. Where is it? I believe it was Full of Lead 42 years ago. So if we go to the God Valley incident, how long ago was God Valley? Okay, so the God Valley incident was an event that took place on the island God Valley 38 years ago. We're right there. The God Valley incident took place 38 years ago. We're looking at Full of Lead 42. Yeah, literally 3 years. We're 3 years away from the God Valley incident. That's how close we are. And since we skipped whole 2 years, 38 years isn't prior to time skip. No, it's 38. It's 38 years. 38 years. 38 years ago. So we are literally 3 years away. Is it 3 or 4? God Valley needs to be erased in the map. Maybe it's not really shocky because, yeah, there is way more mysteries. At the moment, we're about 4 years away from the God Valley incident. See, I knew my time was right. I said, like, no, it's 4. It's 4 because 4 plus 8 is 12. So, yeah, we are 4 years away from the God Valley incident. Let this sink in. Math ain't mathin'. Don't worry. Hey, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. But, yeah, it's 38 years ago. 38 years from the God Valley incident. We skipped to 42 years. Skipped ahead 2 years. skipped ahead 2 years. So we are 4 years away from the God Valley incident. So if we come back out of break and we skip ahead another year or maybe 2, we'll be right on the edge of the God Valley incident happening and us finding out how it all went down. And when that happens, we're going to have to tally how long it's been since Sengoku told us that story from chapter 957. I want to say it's 957. Yeah, chapter 957. I was right! I didn't even see it! I remembered! It's still in my head because I remember losing my mind. I remember losing my mind when I read that chapter, finding out the bounties of all the Yonko, and finding out the bounty of Roger, and finding out about the Rocks Pirates as a whole. So yeah, it was chapter 957 when Sengoku explained, it was the ultimate chapter, when Sengoku explained the Rocks Pirates, the God Valley incident, and everything that went down, how that's the moment where Garp became known as a hero of the Marines, and that's when the Rocks Pirates were fully defeated and they disbanded after that point, and apparently Rocks lost his life during that time. So we're going to need to tally how long it's been since we had that chapter, because 957 came out in 2019. September 30th, 2019. That's how long it's been since the... What day does the next September 30th fall on? Hold on. It falls on a Tuesday. Never mind. But the 28th of September falls on a Sunday. Okay. Let's see. Finding. Good to see you. Blackbeard is how old? I think he's 40. Yeah, he's 40. I remember that because Shanks is 39. Wonder if Big Mom had Mon Dieu before or after the God Valley incident. Next chapter, more rocks. Maybe focus more to Loki. Possibly. If Blackbeard is 40 years old, he was born before God Valley, right? So the thing is, we don't know the exact... What was it? Blackbeard was, what, 10 years old when he joined the Whitebeard Pirates? So if we go back to... So we need... There's so... I could stand here all day, but I really need to move on to the next manga. But there's so much here. There's so much to think of here. Shanks and Blackbeard are both 40 years old. They are? Blackbeard don't look it. He look older than 40. He look like Uncle Ruckus 40. Shanks doesn't look 40. He looks like, it's impossible. There's no way you're 40 years old, 40. You were 2 years old when God Valley happened, I think. Shanks is 39. Then he has to be born before God Valley. Let's see. Yeah. There's just so much to think about. We are now on break again, peoples. We're now on break. Stop it. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. Blackbeard is the Uncle Ruckus of One Piece.
I see you, Whitebeard. I see you have that nice devil fruit power. I'ma let the Marines go ahead and kill you, and then I'ma take it for myself, because I'm a good pirate, and I'm gonna show the world with the power of the good to know me, and the power of the Yami know me. I'm gonna be invincible. The world is mine. My era begins.
But Teach is 40, Shanks is 39. We'll be saying this all day. But yeah, Teach is 40 years old, Shanks is 39. But there's still so much we don't know about. There's still so much we don't know about the Rocks Pirates leading up to the God Valley incident that I'm really looking forward to those 4 years. Think about this. We are 4 years away in this story, away from the moment where the Rocks Pirates have their last fight together. 4 years! We went 100 years in the past, and now we're only 4 years away from pretty much the quintessential, life-changing, world-changing moment where the Rocks Pirates stop being the most notorious pirate crew and Roger's era begins. But yeah. And then now I got to think on this for a while, man. This chapter is great. Oda's been cooking with this flashback. Hopefully he keeps up. Not everyone is like you, 33, yet looks 25. What can I say? Black don't crack. I'm slightly immortal. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So are we going to see Toddler Blackbeard and Toddler Shanks in this flashback? Watch Oda go to 39 years ago, then skip over it to focus on Loki's story. That would be Oda for him to have us thinking we're going to go due to this section, go to this section of the story, but then shift over to another section. But yeah, we'll have to see. Babyface Assassin Q. but stop, y'all making me laugh. But overall, good chapter. We're going on break again. The next time we'll have another chapter will be the last day of September, which also happens to be a day where I normally do my reflections of One Piece chapters. So, that's going to be a busy day, because if we don't go on break for the anime, then I'm going to be doing the next One Piece reaction that day, the next Sakamoto Days reaction that day, doing a One Piece reflections for the chapters we got all in September, and then doing a One Piece episode if we do happen to have one. So I'm really going to be busy that day. Goodness, y'all putting me through the ringer. But I love this job, so thank you for the opportunity. Do we know if Baby Shanks was on God Valley? I forgot. It's assumed that Shanks was there at God Valley due to the fact that people are taking the events of Film Red when the Roger Pirates after God Valley come back with a treasure chest. Then that's Shanks. But at the same time, Roger had his mustache when we see Shanks in that chest. Roger didn't have a mustache when he was at God Valley. So I need to revisit Film Red to see that ending again, because if Roger has a mustache, then it couldn't have been from the God Valley incident where they took Shanks. Because Roger didn't have his mustache during the God Valley incident at all. So now there's even more reason to believe that Shanks wasn't there. There's simply no way, because Shanks wouldn't have even been born during that time simply because Roger didn't have the mustache then. Conversation for another time. We'll carry this on to another time. We'll have to see, because I think it's implied in Film Red. Yeah, it's implied, but the two timelines don't match up if you look at Roger's face during that time period. Roger does have a mustache in the volume 1000. Did he? True. How long did it take Roger to open that chest? I don't know. It doesn't have holes in it, so I imagine that probably wouldn't have been good for Shanks back then. This will have to be a discussion we have later, because I got to move on to Sakamoto Days, and then I gotta eat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by today. You didn't have to out of your busy schedule, but I greatly appreciate the fact that you all decided to check me out, especially if this is your first time watching my channel for the first time. Your first time watching my channel. Sorry, grammar, trying to get through this. Thank you for stopping by, and I really do hope you enjoyed yourself, and I would love to see you here again. By the way, Shanks is 39, God's Valley is a year later. Yeah, if I continue this conversation, I'm never going to get out of here. Yeah, overall, ladies and gentlemen, this was a good chapter of One Piece. So much to learn from this one particular flashback chapter. Can't wait to see what we get on the last day of... Why did I say that this is September? This isn't... This is August. This is August. I got that mixed up. But overall, good chapter. Thank you all for checking me out. And if you're new here, thank you for just watching me. There's so many people who react to One Piece, but I'm happy that you made it here, and I hope to see you again. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later peoples, on to Sakamoto Days!